Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for being here once again this week. I just want to get something right out of the gate here. Even though these weeklies are dated, please, this applies at whatever time you stumble upon it, okay? So it's timeless. And actually a lot of these readings here on YouTube are timeless, even the ones that are monthly. It's really about when spirit calls you to open it up and listen to it. And I think that that's something to always keep in mind. Okay, well, with that said, I want to ask you, if you are liking the content that I'm delivering here on my channel, please subscribe, like the content, subscribe, make comments, all that good stuff. It really helps inform YouTube in terms of algorithm that you are liking this channel, and it helps them climb it up a little bit so that it gets more views. Okay, so I would really appreciate it if you would please subscribe to this channel. Okay, so let's get started. I have already pre-shuffled, but as always, I will shuffle again. I will be using Spirit Song Tarot. I love these cards. Anytime I post pictures on my social media with these cards, I get a ton of comments and messages asking who this is. So I'll go ahead and link the info below. Also, I'll show you the little booklet here. It's Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. You can see that. Okay, alrighty. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope that you are allowing love to sink in, albeit craziness in the world. All right, let's get started. So, Spirit, what do we need to know about this week? What is it that we must focus on? What are the most important messages the viewers here today, what is the most important message that they need to know? What do they need to focus on this week for our highest good? Thank you. All right, let's get started. So let's see, what is it that we need to focus on this coming week? There we go. All right, and I'll take two more cards. Whoa, I want it to come out. Two of shells. Aw, how sweet. Okay, let's see. One more card, please, Spirit. Also, I want to remind everyone that I will be releasing a monthly for every sign, for all signs, as well as the Child Tarot. So come back and look at those videos as well. Okay, Spirit. One more card for this week. What is it that we need to focus on this week? No. Just one card, please. I'll show these to you. I know you can't see it currently, so I'll go ahead and show these. Ooh, okay. Very nice. Okay, so we have the Shaman. Gorgeous. And then we have the Two of Shells. He's beautiful. And the Ace of Feathers. Okay, so let me just look at these for a second. Yeah. Makes sense given our Libra season that we're currently in. There is a deep yearning going on currently that you're experiencing more than ever. And this yearning is about really diving deep into your own divine wisdom, right? So this is about you coming to the realization that what you're here for in this 3D realm is really so much more than meets the eye, right? So I think that you're going to find a pool this week. You're going to find a reason. Perhaps it could happen through chaos. Disintegration of a relationship is what I'm hearing, or even a reinforcement of a relationship. And again, when I say relationship, it can mean romantic. It can mean, your colleagues at work, your neighbors, your parents, family members, what have you. But there is something here that I'm getting that's going to take place this week, and perhaps it's already happened this weekend. I'm recording this the weekend before the Monday that I release. And again, it doesn't matter because this is timeless. So at the time that you come to this reading, you may already be getting this tug, this internal tug that wants you to break any bind, anything that holds you reliant on an outside source for spiritual fulfillment. And the way that this is going to come about is either a relationship is going to show you a side of it that you weren't necessarily paying attention to before. It's always been there, it was always there. For whatever reason, you weren't ready to see it. And whether it's the relationship you have with your guru, your spiritual advisor, your mother, your father, your child, what have you, there's something about a conversation that takes place or a relating that's been taking place with someone in your life that is really making you want to dive deeper into your own self-wisdom and knowledge of the divine, or whatever it is that we hold in high regard, whatever is higher than us, meaning whatever you hold spiritual or sacred, right? There's something, perhaps, I'm getting that there are a couple of people here, maybe more, who have found themselves reliant on a person, some kind of biblical context, or some kind of way of living spiritually that is being tested. And you are being asked to seek the shaman within you, within yourself, the shaman that you inherently are. Because here's the deal. We are our own gurus, right? There isn't anyone who has more power over how spiritually enlightened you can be, or how you just need to be ready to go seek that out for yourself. And yes, do we sometimes need vehicles, people to help us along the way? Absolutely. It's like I practice Reiki and I work on Reiki, but I still go to my Reiki master to get my own Reiki, right? And at the same time, I also know that although when I go to her for my sessions, it is amazing and I love it, and somehow even stirs up my own, because Reiki, we stir our own as we give each other people Reiki. It's like continuous, right? But even though I know that it's an extra little oomph when I go to her, I also know that I have that within me, right? So if for some reason I couldn't see her for months, I would miss the heck out of her energy because she's amazing. But at the same time, I know that I don't have to rely on her for that. Now, I'm using Reiki as an example, but this is not about Reiki. This is about whatever you hold sacred. So I think what you are realizing with being your own shaman here, or being tugged to find the shaman within, because I really think that's what this week is about, finding the shaman within, is either, or maybe you go to someone and in that conversation this week or in the next, whenever you come upon this reading, you realize it's something that you actually want to do yourself. Maybe you come across a reading like this and it inspires you to take up tarot lessons, astrology lessons, Reiki, whatever it is you're into that fulfills you spiritually, numerology, or maybe not, meditation or surfing, because there's spirituality in everything, right? It doesn't need to be this esoteric type of environment, right? Nature is so sacred as well. So there is something happening in your surrounding, in your environment, that is calling the shaman within. You hear it, you're hearing the call of that. And relating with others, specific relationships around you are confirming that either A, it's time to stop the reliance on others to fill that. B, you have it within yourself to fill that. Always. That is always, always available to you. You don't need my readings. You don't need anyone else. It's in you, but you have to believe that. And that's the key, right? In all spirituality, it's like, it is a faith. It's faith. But there isn't one right way. Well, the one right way that I would say is that we all have that within us. And so this week, situations are going to pop up. They're going to bring it to your attention, your reliance on certain people, places, things that fill spirituality. And it's going to inspire you to search it within. Maybe the person you normally go to took a vacation, is gone for like a month, and all of a sudden you're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm so used to going to this meditation teacher, and she's gone or he's gone for the rest of the year now, and how am I going to, learn how to do it yourself and see how wonderful that feels, and get yourself strong in that arena. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's that. And then we have the Two of Shells. Beautiful. Which is all about harmony. It's all about coming together with another. It's about union, and it's also about forgiveness. Here's the one thing about this card that many times we forget. It's about forgiveness, right? But it's not just about forgiving the other individual involved. And again, the Two of Cups, even though it can be more romantic, it doesn't need to be. Okay, when I look at this card, I'm feeling very, very heavily that there is some forgiveness happening here with parents. Perhaps your parents, perhaps your partner's parents, and there's also some kind of reevaluation of a current relationship. So what I'm picking up, and it all goes back to this going within to being your own shaman, actually. The relating, whatever this relationship is with another individual that requires forgiveness, remember to also start with self-forgiveness, okay? Because there is something here that I'm feeling, that there is a lack of harmony with another individual. But at the same time, or more importantly than that, it's about forgiving yourself about something. Okay, so this week, it feels like, strongly, it feels like this week there's gonna be some inner child work that's gonna come up through relating with others. And that relating with others is also gonna lead you to want to dive deeper into your own divine, in your own power, your sacred power that you have. And as you forgive yourself and you forgive others, because it's easier when we forgive ourselves, it's so much easier to forgive others. It's actually more difficult to forgive another when there is some stuff. When I'm having a difficult time forgiving someone, I ask myself, okay, what am I being hard on myself about, like, what is something that I'm still holding on to that is not allowing me to forgive another person. So, and it's interesting because the two of shells on its own or two of cups on its own would mean, usually people don't read it as forgiveness, but I'm really feeling that heavily. And I'm feeling that you really want someone else to forgive you, and you really want to forgive someone else. And there's no reason not to here. There is no reason not to. The shaman together here with two of cups, this is about spiritual love. Okay, so yes, romance can be a part of that. Yes, child-parent relationship, colleague relationship. But at the root of this, it's about a deeper spiritual kind of love, right? And then we have the Ace of Feathers, which is the Ace of Swords, which is all about, and this is just beautiful. Look at that. Again, when I think of the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Feathers, I think about like this download from the divine. I think about new ideas, new opportunities, but also opportunities to be clear about something. Now, generally, if I would have gotten the Ace of Feathers at the beginning of this, like if it would have been the first card, if it would have been flipped, then my focus would be more on new projects, new writing deals, all that good stuff. But this is different because it follows the shaman and the Two of Cups. This is about seeking opportunities to have these forgiving conversations with people, and seeking the opportunities as your inner shaman to allow for the downloads to reach you. Like, allow yourself to open up to the divine, whatever that is for you, whether it's through meditation. I'm really feeling this heavily for meditation here for this week. But it's in relationship to the first two cards, right? So it's about creating the opportunity to speak clearly with someone about forgiving and forgiveness, and also at the same time allowing yourself to receive whatever messages the divine has for you. I am getting huge sense of forgiveness here. It keeps looping in my mind. It keeps coming back. And I hope that I've tied these cards in the way that Spirit wants me to tie them together, because I keep hearing forgiveness. Yes, I'm hearing that quite a bit. Also, you may need to forgive in terms of the downloads. You may have recently come to learn the truths about something in your sacred realm, whatever that is to you. For example, this is just an example, but let's say you've been going to an astrology school and you find out that the way you were taught to do a specific technique was incorrect all along. So there is a sense here to want to remember that these things are not accidents, right? If something was mistakenly taught to you, right? With no ill intent, of course. If something was mistakenly taught, whether it was you grew up Catholic and that's what you were taught, you grew up Baptist, you grew up to meditate, you grew up to whatever that is for you, part of the journey and part of the beauty, I like literally my feet I was cross-legged and completely fell asleep. But part of the journey of learning spirituality or whatever it is that whatever path you're on, part of the journey is to also learn your own truth along the process. And sometimes finding out that something was not taught to us correctly can actually be empowering, right? So there's something here about that. Again, sometimes when we do these readings, you hear the theme, you hear it, and you see examples, but it's really up to you to interpret it, translate it to your specific scenario of what you're going to. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that there's forgiveness here that needs to happen. If you realize, if you come to the realization that you've been reliant on someone else to fill your spiritual power or your spiritual essence, it's time for you to believe that you have that and that it's within you. But at the crux of that, there's forgiveness here. There's a need to forgive. There's a need to forgive not just another person or institution or way of life, whether it be religion or something that you've learned, whatever that is for you, a culture. There is a need here to forgive. Very, very simply put, whatever it is for you. So here, I'm going to show you again the shaman. Two of shells and ace of feathers. Alrighty, everyone. I hope that made sense. And remember that when readers read cards, it's all based on themes. We are co-creators in this. We're inspirationers. I know that's not a word, but like, we're here to do this work together. I cannot do this work without you. It takes both of us to put the pieces together for higher, I don't even know that enlightenment is what I want to say, but just for higher evolution. It's a journey, right? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to ask you one more time to please, if you like the content here, please subscribe to my page. It really helps. It lets YouTube know that you're liking what I'm putting out there. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey, this new journey for me of the YouTube world. So thanks a lot and have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.